Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, I'm generally pretty congested. It's just something biological that I inherited from my mother's side of the family. My brother's the exact same way, but just because my nasal cavity tends to be a little bit congested, and I might be a little bit sensitive to dust, doesn't mean I can't smell. And while observing everything that's going on with Joe Biden and his Penn Biden Center think tank, well, I can smell and it stinks to the friggin' high heavens. I can tell when something is fishy. And honestly, I find it even extra fishy when the mainstream media all comes at the same time working in conjunction, pushing the same damn narrative, trying to save Sleepy Joe from his most recent scandal, downplay the whole thing. It was just an accident that documents were found in his office. He had no idea that they were there. Give me a friggin' break. Honestly, the only legitimate argument that they have to protect Joe is maybe Alzheimer's. Maybe he just forgot about them, but that doesn't necessarily absolve him of wrongdoing, now does it? But their immediate defense and excuses and justification of everything that's going on certainly make it more fishy, and things are now getting even fishier, as more classified documents have been found in Joe Biden's possession at a different location. He must have forgot about those ones too, I guess. And Fox News is reporting on a connection with Joe Biden's Penn Center think tank, and of course his son Hunter Biden. Let me update you guys on all the new developments, and let's of course talk about why they matter, and look at this thing from a wider perspective, the macro view. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so it continues to get worse for Sleepy Joe.
Aides to President Biden have apparently discovered another set of classified documents, this time in a different location than the office where the first batch was discovered, according to a person familiar with the matter. I want to bring in now the team breaking this story. NBC News White House correspondent Carol Lee, our Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delaney. And Ken, let me start with you with what we know.
Hallie, aides to President Biden have been conducting an exhaustive search, we are told, of other locations to make sure they've gathered up all the classified documents that went to the wrong place, because if it happened once, it could happen again. And what we're told is that they have found at least one additional batch of classified documents. Now, that's basically all we know. We don't know the extent, the nature of the classification on these documents. We don't know exactly when they were found. And again, we don't know whether this was anything more than inadvertent error by whoever was packing the documents as they left the Biden White House. But it's significant because it shows that the scope of this may be more broad than we first realized. You know, we were initially talking about a set of less than a dozen documents in one location at the Penn Biden Center. Now it appears there are more classified documents that went astray after Joe Biden left the Obama administration.
More documents have been found at a different location from Biden aides. Now, of course, in that despicable MSNBC piece, you could tell how they're trying to spin this thing, as if it's Joe Biden's aides that are just scanning all of Biden's office locations, finding all of these classified documents and releasing them, or giving them back to National Archives, trying to absolve Joe Biden of any wrongdoing. It wasn't Joe Biden's fault. It must have been some White House aide from 2016 who just misplaced documents. Yeah, I'm sure that's the case. But of course, their narrative continues to crumble. Oh, Joe was just found with only a couple documents compared to Donald Trump, who was found with 60 plus. 100 plus documents. Yeah, documents that the National Archives knew that he was in possession of, that he never denied that he was holding, he never actually tried to conceal. He just argued that he unclassified them during his time as president, which he has the authority to do so, and was refusing to give them back because he said, no, I unclassified them and they're my friggin' documents. A completely different situation. Here we have Joe Biden in possession with multiple documents, clearly concealing them. Nobody knew that they were in his possession, and now we're learning that they're friggin' scattered all over the place. The media is trying to pretend as if it's not a big deal. Joe Biden couldn't have known. No, of course not. Karine Jean-Pierre is pushing the same bogus narrative.
He had a closet with classified
his
information in
lawyers
it
did the
that
right
they found. How did it get
again.
Did the
He
lawyers
did.
do
He
the
was
right thing?
surprised that the records were there. He spoke to this
But they were
personally.
there.
He was surprised that the records were there.
It's funny the way the media pushes the exact same narrative that the Biden administration wants you to believe. Whatever the White House press propaganda is, well, let's just try to report on that as being the most likely scenario. No scrutiny whatsoever. You think Donald Trump would get that same treatment? Absolutely not. We know he would not. But when it comes to Sleepy Joe, well, it's just not his fault. It must have just been some stupid aide who didn't know what they were doing. Yeah, I'm not ready to give Joe Biden any benefit of the doubt. If anything, this discovery that he was actually secretly in possession of more classified documents at another location makes me question, what the hell else is this man hiding? That's what we know of so far in 2 of his known office locations. Well, what is Joe Biden hiding in undisclosed locations that we don't know about? This guy, because he's a Democrat, is getting all of the benefit of the doubt when he deserves none of it. He had no right to be holding classified documents, period. He had no security clearance, and he had no authority to declassify anything. And it seems as though all this time, he's been concealing the fact that he's been holding documents, and what makes it even worse is that we're now learning that these documents are pertaining to information related to Ukraine and China. Understanding Joe Biden's family ties and their business dealings with those countries makes this whole thing real sketchy and even harder to just give him the benefit of the doubt. I give him no benefit and no doubt. Whatever the hell that means, I'm just riffing here. But here's where it gets even more sketchy. Hunter Biden, China, classified documents, mystery swirls around Pennsylvania Penn Center. Hunter Biden explored getting a job at Biden Penn Center before it even existed. The Penn Biden Center lies at the heart of the latest Biden controversy, but in some ways remains shrouded by mystery. The White House revealed earlier this week that classified documents were discovered at the Washington, D.C. office for President Biden's think tank, the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement, in early November. On Wednesday, news broke that another trove of classified documents from Biden's time as vice president had been discovered at another location, leading to louder calls from attorney Merrick Garland to appoint a special counsel to investigate the president's handling of such documents. Of course, that'll never happen. They'll appoint special counsels to investigate Donald Trump endlessly, but never sleepy, creepy Joe Biden because he's got a D next to his name. The Biden Center has since found itself in a firestorm, leading to renewed questions on the likes of Chinese donations to the University of Pennsylvania, which houses the think tank. Hunter Biden is also known to have discussed the center in emails before its launch. Within weeks of leaving the vice presidency under former President Barack Obama in January 2017, Biden became the Benjamin Franklin Presidential Practice Professor at the University of Pennsylvania, an honorary position, and the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement was launched in Washington, D.C. the next year. However, discussions about the elder Biden's future involvement with Penn long predated the end of the Obama presidency, according to emails from Hunter Biden's infamous abandoned laptop, which have been verified by Fox News Digital. On April 25, 2016, creative artist agency CAA agent Craig Jering emailed Hunter with confidential notes from our meeting, in which Jering listed apparent plans that were discussed for the vice president upon leaving office. On those plans included, quote, wealth creation, with no further explanation, and another included an apparent reference to the Penn Biden Center in Washington, D.C., with a possible job opportunity for Hunter. But wait, I thought Joe Biden had no connection to Hunter Biden's business dealings. It seems as though we now have a legitimate email involving both Bidens, Joe Biden and his son Hunter, in a scheme of in relation to, quote, wealth creation and the opening of the Penn Biden Center. Now here's the macro view, the whole picture. We're going to pretend as if all of this is normal. None of it should be investigated. Nothing to see here, folks. Joe Biden is illegitimately, illegally in possession of classified documents that he has no clearance to view and no legal right to be in possession of. His son Hunter Biden is doing some sort of shadow lobbying for foreign countries like Ukraine and China, and especially China, where his companies are bringing in millions of dollars. Coincidentally, millions of dollars from China and Hong Kong are then being funneled into the Biden Penn Center. Joe Biden is being then paid $1 million plus by the university for his honorary position where he isn't even teaching. They have a plan for wealth creation. Hunter Biden is somehow connected or knowledgeable about the Penn Biden Center, and so it makes you question, were they selling access and information? Were the Bidens in possession of classified documents and releasing information to the Chinese to benefit themselves financially? That is the first thing that pops to mind. There seems to be some sort of influence or classified information racket involving the Biden family name and business. This seems to be what they do. This is how they make money. Wealth creation through their Biden think tank. What else could a geriatric incompetent with a melting brain and his crackhead son offer major energy companies in the Chinese Communist Party? It can't be much. It's not like they have some skill that people don't possess. It's not like they have some business or provide some service that others aren't or can't. The only thing they possess is their name, their access, their influence. They were selling it. And The question is, how were these classified documents relevant? And then you really start to ask questions when you think about the Clinton Foundation and the fact that Hillary Clinton had a private server with over 30,000 emails and access to tons of classified information through her back channels. The question is, like always, what the hell is going on with the Bidens and the rest of these Washington deep state swamp creature families? And you would think with all of these questions, with all of this evidence, this actual evidence of wrongdoing, a special counsel would have been appointed years ago. And the fact that Merrick Garland is yet to do so, and the fact that the media continues to play defense for the Bidens, makes it all the more fishy. That, however, is what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.